Yeah. So yeah, to me, I feel like there's different headspaces for like motivation or discipline, right? Because if I'm like not feeling great, I do kind of need that discipline to get me started. I feel.
I
So
think
maybe you
I
haven't felt that for a long time.
That's a good point, because I was going to say discipline is unnecessary, but that's wrong, because where you want to apply discipline is in how you feel,
Right.
right? And I can feel source like, yeah, but choice points tapping on my back. So like,
Okay.
you want to be disciplined in where you put your focus. You want to be disciplined in what you're giving your attention to. You want to be disciplined in, what you're tuning into vibrationally. Not discipline in, I've got to make sure I do a 3-hour morning practice every morning
Right.
and stuff like that, right? So discipline, I would say vibrationally disciplined, not efforting discipline, because I think a lot of people, discipline turns into effort.
Yeah, and I think that, so I don't know how familiar everyone is with your school of expansion, but so last week's call, Anik was talking about that, right? That body scan to, and it's so simple, and it's like, oh, it's been great. Like I've been practicing that because so I've got the watch. The watch tells me my heart rate, tells me all these things. I wish it could tell me what mood I'm in or what level of
Your heart
vibration
rate,
is.
but that's good, because if you're, if you're not exercising, right? If you're not in the middle of running 1,000 miles,
Right.
your physical body is the biggest indicator of where you're at emotionally.
Yeah.
So like if you're sitting in your chair right now and you're nice and loose and limp and feeling wonderfully relaxed, then you're in a good place emotionally. But if you're sitting in your chair and you're all tight and tense and rigid, then I can almost guarantee you that either consciously or subconsciously, you're practicing, fear, stress, pressure, some form of resistance.
Right. What about like just indulgence then? Like, because I definitely spent the last 3 years in indulgence. It's like I feel good sitting on the couch watching whatever until I don't that night,
But
you know?
I love that, because that brings me back to the question of like, am I truly honest with the way that I feel? And
Okay.
I mixed channeling last week in the School of Expansion, recordings in Teachable, by the way, for those of you who haven't watched it yet, get on it. Um, that was one of my favorite channelings by her ever. And
Yeah.
it wasn't because of any one of the specific hot seats. It's because I could clearly feel the difference between sitting with Abraham-Hicks and sitting with Anik channeling. And they both channel the exact same way. But the difference was that Abraham-Hicks was a flavor of upliftment, whereas Anik's channeling was very much a flavor of empowerment. And true expansion can only happen if you're honest with how you're truly feeling and you allow yourself to tune into what's going on inside of you and processing what's going on inside of you.
I think she said something that's really stuck with me. It was like openness. Are you open? And so just like scanning, am I open? And a lot of times I wasn't. I was closed off. And
Yeah,
so it's like, okay, we'll just allow for openness and then see
totally.
what happens there. And yeah,
That
it's
that
really
was
cool.
probably the most important message in that whole channeling. And as a matter of fact, today's drop content for the School of Expansion is a meditation I created earlier this morning to help people find like a still point within themselves and then to feel, to get a better sense of what they've truly got going on.
Yeah.